So 15th chapter is very popular and we chant it. But how we can connect it with our life, with our family, with our behavior, etc., usually we do not think about it. Especially we Hindus have no such training programs where we are trained in Gita way of looking at life or Gita way of management or for that matter, Gita way of conducting our family business. We are all ignorant about it. Anyway, Sri Krishna so very kindly and with a very, very tender feeling towards all of us, keeping Arjuna in front, he had been guiding us how to get rid of the misunderstandings and ignorance in our mind and concentrate on that family of which he is the Pita and Pitamaha. He is the all in all. And to that extent, Sri Krishna had been guiding Arjuna step by step, cutting asunder his ignorant links, how karma has to be made karma yoga, how jnana has to be made into jnana yoga. In every way, just like a father or a guru guides an ignorant child or a shishya, Sri Krishna had been so very kindly guiding us. And when there is doubt in Arjuna's mind whether this whole universe is his, he first enumerates through Vibhuti Yoga how everything we find in this universe has got the insignia from him to conduct the corporate management and work. Even then not satisfied, he wanted to see the Vishwarupa, how the entire universe stands interconnected, interrelated and interdependent. And what a magnificent scene we have seen. We could only see through Arjuna's eyes. Through Arjuna's prayers, we could understand a little tiny bit of that magnificent vision which he had. And even after seeing all this, still Arjuna's mind was not completely rid of all doubts. So in the 13th chapter, making use of the two words Kshetra and Kshetrajna, he taught us what are the undying principles and what are the dying factors in our daily life. Concentrate on the undying, the eternal, leave out the ephemeral. So all the unwanted things in life, if we could keep aside and concentrate, for example, take 24 hours, how we should spend our days. I think in that connection, I was talking to you about the one old Brahmin whom we met in Panyar village, who was totally devoted. And because of him, this Samaveda tradition has been preserved in Kerala. They have recorded it and kept it. In the same way, how we would use our time to glorify the self within us, which is a self everywhere, through satsanga, through readings, through yoga, etc., etc. And above all, Swamiji teaches us through service of those around us, Tyaga and Seva. With all this information, Arjuna was again worried about the multiplicity which we see around, and for that, Krishna uses the Purusha, Prakriti, and the three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. So if we want to create a good habit, a good human being, there is a written document how it can be done. You follow strictly the rules of sattva. If you want to be success as a entrepreneur, etc., all right, go to the rajas, the document. So in that way, Krishna has taught us the variety which we see is due to the different proportions in the sattva, rajas and tamas. And again, to detach Arjuna's mind and our minds too from the preoccupations with our family, our relationships, our attachments, our concerns, etc., 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 ad infinitum. Sri Krishna suddenly puts before us a wonderful simile, an upama which has no parallel. Nowhere in the world you can find. We say Sri Chakra. Our Sri Chakra is a representation of this, whole of this universe. The same way, here Krishna presents a very a gigantic simile. What is it? He says, visualize a huge banyan tree, but the banyan tree stands up, down. The roots are up, and all the stems, branches, flowers, leaves, etc., 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 they are all standing down. Urdhva moola mathashakam, ashwattham brahurav. Ashwattha is a banyan tree, but there is another meaning. It is our sansar, which is there today. Tomorrow we don't know what will happen. In the next minute, we don't know what will happen. In the next hour, we don't know what will happen. So it is always samsara, it is always moving, moving, moving. So in that way, he presents a picture and says, you have to reach to the roots. So many things come to the mind when you read that, First, when Narendranath went to Sri Ramakrishna and asked him, have you seen God? Without hesitation, he told him, yes, I have seen. If you want, I can show you also. But only thing is, who wants to see God these days? Similarly, after our experience with Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvada in the 15th chapter, we should be able to at least feel like Sri Ramakrishna that yes, we can see God. But where? He is everywhere. That is what Krishna is going to tell us. When you go to America or somewhere, I always felt almost every town is same. There will be huge, huge malls, shopping centers, this, that, all that, which will remind you of your both worldly life, achievements, things like that. But when you go through India, what is it we have seen? This Punya Bhumi off and on reminds us something of our Puranic, Aidihasic, Dharmic symbols. When you see yellow, immediately we will think of Krishna. When you see blue, Krishna, Sarvam Krishnamaya. When you see the sky, blue, Krishna. When you see a blue silk, Balarama. When you see Garuda, we think of Sri Krishna. When you see a banyan tree, we remember. After reading Gita, we may remember this banyan tree also. When you see a peacock, we will remember Subramanya. When you see a rat, we will remember, oh, I can't kill a rat. He is Ganapati's Vahana, isn't it? So in this way, through these symbols, however much a communist or a theist you may be, but in India, you can't be an atheist. Where are you going? Kashi. Oh, Kashi. Varanasi. Varanasi, Purapati, Bhaja Vishwanath. Where you are going? Mathura. Oh, Krishna's birthplace. Vrindavan, Krishna's Leela. See, all the time, whether we like it or not, whether we want it or not, remembrance of God is inbuilt into the atmosphere of this Punya Bhumi. So, it is only by divine dispensation that we are born in this Punya Bhumi. And in this particular simile, Ashwatha, Sri Krishna is asking us a very, very normal advice he is giving. Go to the root, isn't it? If you want to find out the truth, go to the root of the knowledge. You find two chemicals, they are reacting in the laboratory, but when you write, you are not writing this, you are writing the formula, the roots. So everywhere, knowingly or unknowingly, we go to the root of the matter. Root means also truth of the matter. Somebody has committed a crime. How do we find out? We go to the root of the matter. What exactly happened, where he came from, which car he used, who was with him, what weapon he's used, isn't it? So, going to the root of a thing is very natural for human beings. When you find the taste of something, you go to the root, isn't it? What are the ingredients which has given this taste? So Sri Krishna tells us, this root, searching for the root, let this be done in a very, very elegant, systematic and deep way, through meditation, go to the root of the things. This sansar which you are seeing, which you are propagating through your activities, through your prayers, your learnings, your profession, your interactions with people, you have created this bunch of branches and buds and flowers and leaves and everything. And you are enchanted by this. So you have forgotten the root. Go to the root of it. So to make us go to the root, he has given all these descriptions and says, these will not take you to the root. You will cut asunder. You have to cut off, cut off, cut off. How to cut off? What is the weapon we have? With our usual sword or knife or something, we can't cut off the roots of this samsara. But there is a wonderful weapon to cut off this root, this samsaric head of the Ashwatha. What is that? Asanga sasprena dhridena chitva. There is only one weapon by which you can cut off this and go nearer and nearer and nearer to the root. Asangoham, asangoham, asangoham puna puna. That is what Shankaracharya says. Siddhananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. In that Nirvana Shatkam, through the stanzas, we are not that cut off. Mano, Buddhi, Ahankara. Okay? Keep a nice scissors in our hand, cut off. No, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am not this. Like that, asangena, you cut off this, then you will go to the root. Krishna, as usual, before he tells Arjuna, he says, Arjuna, remember, who is talking to you? It is I am talking to you. Don't forget who I am. When you cut and come to the root, whom you are going to see, that I is the giver of light and prakashat to Surya. I am the provider of the qualities of Soma, Somo, Bhutva, Rasatma. So we can say in our worldly language, Krishna telling Arjuna, Arjuna, see, I have the biggest canteen in the universe. All the food is made by me and sent to the different agencies through Surya, through Chandra. I have the biggest manufacturing unit of Aushadhas and making use of my agents, Ashwini Devas and moon. I provide these medicines to different plants in the different ways so that man can get the benefit of it. So the biggest canteen, imagine, go to the root. We have our favorite curry. From where it has come? The vegetables, such and such vegetables, such and such ingredients. And they are all boiling in water. For in everything, there is that vital power of the great Lord. A brinjal tastes like a brinjal. A mango tastes like a mango. Because he has decided in his canteen, he has prepared the different tastes and distributed all over the world. For man to his taste, for the animals for their taste, for plants, he has engaged Sun himself, asking him, you be the agent to give the food to all the plants everywhere. I provide you. Take from the canteen, take whatever you want and supply the food to everybody. Just imagine the biggest food manufacturing unit in the whole universe is controlled by none other than him. All right. But what about my own food? Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashrita. Oh, when I take the food, I enjoy the food. It gets digested. The essence of it enters into my each and every cell in my body. It gives me energy. It gives me power. My goodness. From where it comes? Yes, go to the root of the question, root of the matter. You will find that I am the provider from whom the whole universe gets whatever it is known. You think Surya has any power to shine? No, I supply him to the sun, to the moon, to the stars, to the rivers, to the mountains. Whatever makes their own personalities, behind them stand I. Arjuna, are you understanding? So learn to look everywhere. Like Sri Ramakrishna said, you can see God. Once you go through the Purushottama Yoga and understand this, when you take food, why we are chanting 15th chapter, Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva, because we know I have no power to digest my food. I have no power to extract the essence of that food. I have no power to transfer that essence to the various cells, to the blood, etc. That I pray to you, O God. Let this food I take. Then I am taking it, but my thanksgiving will be my pranams to you. So in this way, I feel, when Sri Ramakrishna says, I can see God everywhere, he means I recognize his power everywhere. It is not that you will find Krishna or Rama or Govinda anywhere. Recognize the power of the universal God, Almighty, whose might has filled up the whole universe. Isn't it so beautiful? And our seers, they have given us these symbols, as I said earlier, the yellow color, the blue color, the Vanamala. My goodness, unimaginably beautiful symbols they have provided, so that when you see that, you will remember your God, Vrindavan, and the any number of songs, ragas, dancers, kalas, chitrakalas, silpakalas, through everything, you are glorifying that infinite person whose power, whose radiance radiates all over the world. How very wonderful is our life in India. To be born in this Hindu culture, to be a recipient of these wonderful thoughts of our great rishis. But what to do? We are not able to see it. Why? The great Yama tells Nachiketa, Kaschidhiraha Pratyekatmanamaiksha Avritta Chakshu Amritattvamicha. We are all the time worried about the leaves, the buds, the flowers, and all that on the Ashutta. But Kaschidhira, whose mind is steady, who has got Ekagrata, whose Lakshya is very, very clear, that I want Satyam Param Dhimahi. That is my Lakshya. To such a Pratyekatma, Kaschidhiraha Pratyekatmanamaiksha. He comes face to face with God. God means what? The vital power within you, the self within you, which is the self everywhere. So that's sort of a Purushottama Bhava, that he and he alone is in this verse. At least understand, Arjuna, the weapons you use, the mantra which makes your this thing a Gandiva, everything, it is according to my command only. That is what Krishna impresses upon Arjuna in this particular chapter. To more and more to look at the reality, to look at the root of the thing means look at the reality of it, the truth behind it. If there is some misunderstanding between two people, how do we clear it? You get to the root cause of this misunderstanding. Why this misunderstanding is due to? Where is the root cause of it? Maybe he said something he did not know. He said answered this way, he did not know. And we can clear it. So once you know the truth, even simple misunderstandings can be cleared. And what about the big misunderstanding which we have about our life, our role in life, our goal in life? Nothing is clear for us because we have never bothered to look at the root. That is probably why Ramana Maharshi was insisting on, somebody asks him a question, he will say, who is the person who is asking the question? Try to find out him. So you go on analyzing, and finally, by the time you analyze and reach to yourself, the doubts have vanished, the ignorance has gone, and the truth is very clear. In the same way, this samsaric preoccupations, this keeps us in this samsara. They have to be cut through asanga satrena. I don't want idam namama. Our Vedas say idam namama. So by making use of this asanga shastra, we have to go into that. Krishna says, even if you reach up to the ultimate cause of the root, remember, still there is something beyond that. My absolute ultimate Purusha Uttama. Uttama Purushasvani. I am the Uttama Purusha. The last word. There is nothing beyond that. And once you are able to understand that, nothing more remains. You will find that it is I alone supply everything. Even for a Nastika to say that there is no God, how will he say? He will have to use his vocabulary, his vocal cords, his whatever knowledge he has gathered or ignorance he has gathered, all that is required for him to say that there is no God. So in the same way, Sri Krishna says, Arjuna, remember, I alone is there. This will be a very, very beautiful meditation for us, this 15th chapter. That is why they say, get by heart the 15th chapter. 15th chapter, when you get by heart, somehow within us a feeling will come that yes, there is nothing but God. Now we can imagine, when Prahlada said, I see God everywhere. Sri Ramakrishna says, I see God everywhere. They mean that through these eyes, when you look at the thing, you know the essence of that person, the essence of that thing, the essence in that particular tree or animal, or that is nothing but his Leela. The games he plays with the models which he himself has created. For him, it is just a play. When he feels like he will make us play, when the game is over, he say, all right, come back. And we go back, we don't know where. We go to the root, let us hope. So thinking of the root, probably, when the final call comes, we go to the root. We can probably reach up to that Purushottama self. So, Asanga Shastrena. So, the super knowledge of the ultimate cause is the end of the spiritual journey. Once you can really go to the root, you get merged with the root. Again, I'm reminded of Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, see, I'm sitting on that wall. On the other side is the Nirguna Parabrahma. And I want to talk to you about it. If I want, I can jump there, but then I know I cannot come back here. Yadgatva anivartande tadhama paramam. Because once I go there, I get merged into that Parabrahma Tattva. So Devi, what did she tell me? She told me to sit on this wall, look here, and then give a little bit of that information, not even fully. If I want to tell you everything I saw, then Devi comes and holds my mouth. Whatever a little bit of what I share with my disciples, with my people, with my bhaktas. That is what Mother has told me. So Sri Ramakrishna also says, when you go there, there is no coming back. Yadgatva nanivartande. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishta. Mattasmridir jnanamapohanam cha. Vedaisya sarvairahameva vidyo. Vedanta-krit vedavideva cha. Some of the great bhaktas, like Vilyamangalam, like our Pundanam, like our Bhattagiripat, like our Surdas, Kabirdas, Tukaram, Sriram, Ramdas, all those people, they have all gone and, like Sri Ramakrishna, witnessed the Leela of the Mahaprabhu, and because of their love for humanity, Srinvandu Vishwe Amritasya Putraha, because of their love for the humanity, they have come back to share with us little bit of this knowledge, which they think will guide us to the final beatitude. Yasmaksharam atidoham aksharaadapi chottama adosmi loke vedecha prathita purushottama. People call me Purushottama because I go even beyond this. Whatever we can achieve through our upasanas and sadhanas and realization, that is okay. But there is, beyond that, there is a level which is inconceivable by us. I am that. And it is from that point I control the whole universe. How? With a little bit of my energy, with a tiny little bit of my energy. I don't even need to utilize fully my energy to prepare the food in the canteen or aushadhis in the pharmaceutical laboratories. Nothing I need. Just imagine tulasi. We have the tulsi plant, tulsi leaf, everything, isn't it? But what exactly makes tulasi tulasi is what God has put in her. And to that, our rishis and munis have added so many little stories. Tulasi Kalyanam, Tulasi's life, how Tulasi is attached to Sri Krishna, all that they have added to make it look more and more beautiful. And we remember the stories better than the truth and tattva. So in that way, this 15th chapter, after we get it totally integrated with our thinking and feeling, we will find Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. There is nothing but Krishna. Krishna is everywhere. We can call it Krishna, we can call it Rama, we can call it Devi, it doesn't matter at all. That Parabrahma Tattva, only little glimpse of it was available for the Western science when Einstein said E is equal to mc squared. Little bit, very tiny little bit. But what remains behind? That is why we don't know the extent of the root system of a plant. A plant may grow in our orchard. We see what is outside, is trunk, this, that. But we don't know the extent of the root, from where it absorbs its nourishment. So whatever it is we find in our life, from where we absorb this nourishment, is it what you got from your father, from your mother, or your grandfather, or your grandmother? From where you got it? Don't know. Somebody used to say, my father was never such and such a thing, but look, I have become a great scientist now. My father was not a musician at all. He never used to run away from music, but I have become a great musician. From where? From where it has come? Anantam ajnanam avarnaniyam. That is what the Kavis said. We don't know. We cannot describe it. It is something beyond our imagination. The extent of this root system, from where all it draws its nourishment. That nourishment it draws from the Parabrahma Tattva. And Urdhva some of the roots are going up, like a Ashwatha tree. Some roots have a tendency to go up, some grow down. Why? We are engaged in materialistic activities, so roots are there, fixing the samsaric tree more and more to the ground. But sometimes we have more spiritual ideas and spiritual inclinations. Those roots are going up, touching the infinite. So that also is possible. And banyan tree is such a wonderful example. We don't know when it came. You know, the biggest banyan tree is, I think, in Bengal, botanical gardens or somewhere like that in garden. So many acres it is covering. The original tree, which was it, we don't know, because each of this root, slowly they will touch the ground and they will transform themselves into a small trunk of the tree. That is how we samsara. I started with my old life, then I got a wife, then I got the children, then I acquired wealth, then leaves, birds, flowers, my samsara grows. I don't know how to cut the samsara. So this upama, this simile, is a very wonderful contribution of Sri Krishna to the world of Vedantic literature. To imagine how from a tiny little seed. In that story where Shvetaketu goes to his father, he asks him, have you learned everything that is to be learned? He said, what is that? I have not been taught like that. Then he asks him, to go and get a small, tiny one fruit of the banyan tree. He brings the fruit, cuts it open. He sees some liquid in which is floating some tiny seeds. Then the Guru says, his father, that one tiny little bit of seed, it grows into this big banyan tree. A tiny little thought that we should create a memorial for Swami Vivekananda during his birth centenary. That thought caught up the imagination of a lot of admirers. And finally, through Mani Eknathji Ranade, it acquired the form of the Vivekananda Ultimate Memorial, and through that inspiration was created the Vivekananda Ken. So one thought is enough probably to create a huge empire full of achievements, goodness, this, that. Now we know the computer technology, how much of positive and negative effects it is having on the human society. So where can we stop? Asanga, I stop. Here I stop, not any further. That capacity we should develop by our own sadhanas. This further, no further. I will go only up to this, not beyond that. So in that way, this 15th chapter teaches a wonderful truth of how the creation from the infinitude comes the bija, it takes a samsaric form, and the whole universe has been created. So every effort should be made to bring how do we get the Asanga Shastra? Vishnu says, every effort should be made to bring the senses and the mind under control. Why? Because that is the only way in which we can sharpen the Asanga Shastra, the weapon to annihilate the samsara, the axe of dispassion, with increase in detachment in the individual. What happens? The samsaric tree starts shrinking. You decided not to have a householder's life. It has shrunk so much. I don't want to have a job. It has shrunk. I don't want to take any money from the public. It has shrunk. I don't want to create a home for myself. So it starts shrinking. The more and more we use Asanga Shastra and keep control over worldly activities, aspirations, the Ashwata will shrink, and finally we will be led to that root cause of it. Again and again, Sri Krishna puts his signature and insignia. Remember, Arjuna, I have the authority to tell you all this, and only I have the authority because I am the controller of this whole universe. You don't have to go to any other person and check up, verify the facts which I am telling you, because I alone are the arbiter of this whole thing. So that is the sum and substance of a very little understanding of the thing. Now, how do we incorporate it into our Amrita Sangal? See, our people, we have a family, we have got our elders, some people have gone earlier. We call them the Pitrus. Why they have created this Shraddha ceremonies, memorial services, Remembrance Day, all that is connecting this generation with the previous generation who had probably achieved better things. So in our houses also, we should, maybe not a ritualistic Shraddha or something like that, we can keep a day, just as we say, Swamiji's Samadhi Day, Yagamaji's Samadhi Day. Like that, when we keep a day exclusively for thinking about them, we think not about their physical stature, but we think about the achievements they had in our life, what they have handed over to us. Similarly, at home, my father, my grandfather, he was such and such a person. He has given so much, and it is his name that we are carrying even today, isn't it? So in that way, we can create in our children a relish for the past achievements and glories. And slowly, slowly, when we take it to the ultimate, you will find who has given you all this. None other than God Almighty. Anywhere you take, the final point will be God Almighty. So let that God Almighty, the root cause of everything in this universe, reveal to us the root cause of me, the individual, that what I have got is nothing but a gift from you. So I have to give this gift back to you by sharing it with those around me. You have given me wealth. Let me share it with more people, so that it will all come back to you. I have got capacity to teach. Yes, I will teach. And my teaching will be my offering to you. I have a capacity to sing. I will sing your glories and make people, awaken them to the truth of your ultimate essence of your being. So in that way, by mixing up the thoughts of the 15th chapter in our day-to-day activities, I insist, when I take food, when I take a medicine, remember it is not the doctor, it is not the medicine, it is not the curry which is valuable, but the what Bhagavan has put in. A paracetamol becomes a paracetamol because the chemicals are endowed with the power which God Almighty has given it. And a draksharistam becomes draksharistam because draksha has got the power to, it has obtained from the God Almighty. So as I said, when you see yellow, when you see a peacock, when you see a giraffe, how we remember? The same way, in every little things which we do, we can find ways and means of linking us up with that Purushottama. Let the Purushottama bless us and fill our lives with light, wisdom, knowledge, tyaga, and seva. Namaskar.
Recording stopped. It was really, we are all immersed in that. It will take a little bit time to come out of it. So, if there are any doubts, any questions, please ask Mama, or any clarifications. If you have any, please. Or if you want to say something also, you can please share.
Raghunandan will pass his comment.
Yes.
Please say comment, teacher.
Pranam to everybody. Didi, your example of going to the roots and seeing God everywhere, perhaps is the essence of this whole chapter. And moreover, this chapter also connects up with all the other thoughts which he has given. In one of the places, he said that you should do upasana. And just now when Giri was telling me, every act of ours in our day-to-day life, not spiritual life, in day-to-day life, we are doing this upasana. Upasana means sitting near. Only thing is, we are sitting near those things which are ephemeral, as Giri said. And if we sit near that which is permanent, then probably, not probably, we will reach that Godhead. Or we'll reach that root, which will give us this vision. And cutting this these roots, cutting this root of involvement in the world is through the Asanga Shastra, was the master stroke of this chapter. And we have understood, as Didi said, Didi was telling in her humility that I have given only a little bit which I understood. And in humility, we have to say that we have understood what Didi has told us. But those two things I think are extremely important. One is going to the root, and perhaps every saint has told us in one way or the other to go to the roots. And we have so many stotras on Vishnu. They say that Aushade Chintayo Vishnu. Probably some of you may be knowing that stotra. When you are going to the water, remember Varaha. In fact, everywhere, he has given us the opportunity to be near him, that is to do upasana. But we are near something which we have put ourselves as goals of life and things like that. And in the process, what has happened is we unnecessarily create problems for ourselves and also to our fellow beings. The more we get involved, like we getting involved in a quicksand. The moment you move in quicksand, they say that you're going deeper into the quicksand, and that is what has happened to most of us, or all of us. And this chapter has given us those 2 points which are extremely important. One is go to the root and cut the root of the samsara with Asanga Shastra. And I think we'll all, as Didi was telling, we'll all try to get rid of this samsara vriksha, which is there in our head. Many times when we ask somebody, he says, what can I do? This samsara has held me. So normally in fun we say that you are sitting on a chair. Has any time the chair told you that it has caught hold of yourself? It is you who is sitting in the chair. Get up from the chair. But that getting up from the chair that itself takes a long time. And I'm sure that God will give us the strength and persistence to get up from this world and then reach Him. Thank you so much.